technologies and how you will perform your settings and everything else. So definitely you can get in touch with me for any point, at any point, for anything related to your literature review and your internet site. But the person who knows how it's done, it's Geoff. I'm off now. I'll be back at 2 o'clock with a few members of staff. Okay? You can sit down together to discuss your ideas. So, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, well, good afternoon and welcome back after you've been away for a year, haven't you? You've all been off on placement or whatever. How are you with library usage? Just get an idea. How are you using the library? Has anyone got any kind of things they want me to run over or go over during this session? Any anxieties about using the library, access to any of the resources?
I think the one question we have is if we have access to the past construction dissertations, because a lot of the other faculties have like a database of them.
Yeah, on one of the handouts I've given you here, put it on the screen. Yes. On the guide that I've given you, there's a lot of stuff on where you can find the past dissertation. They're in the Built Environment Resource Centre, AD 215 in Abercrombie. It's on the second page of the construction, a guide to finding information. You find it on there, and it's just.
So it's just hard copies.
They're just hard copies. We haven't. With this. There's a system in place to put them online, but they haven't got that far with it yet. You know, it's not going to happen another year. But hard copies are only available at the moment, and they're held in the Built Environment Resource Centre. So take yourselves over there and have a look through them. They've got lists, and you can borrow them for up to a week. And there's a couple of other references I've put on that guide as well that you might find useful. A couple of books, available as electronic books that might help you get started with your dissertation. They're very easy to read and they explain to you the whole process. So that's when I'm on the guide. I'll just talk about it. This you might have used before, but it's going to be probably more of use to you now. You might be doing a dissertation that covers contaminated land, for example. I put there where you find the books on the shelves. Just also put a list of subject headings that you might find useful for searching Discover. You know, you might want to use those as search terms in themselves. Also on that guide, there's a list of sources where you can find journal articles. And okay, we have Discover, which I'll be showing you in a moment, which is a place where you can go to find a whole range of information. It also picks up books and DVDs and other things to do with a whole range of different subjects. But this is one way of sort of filtering your search and getting more subject-specific stuff rather than trying to trawl through a lot of items that aren't kind of relevant. Also, you might have used these before. Have you used? I expect you're all familiar with these, aren't you? But I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to show you anyway how they work. In a proper literature search, dissertation literature search. There's also cost information, British standards, construction information service, which you will all be familiar with, and again ISO you would have already used. So that's a kind of quick reference guide I've given you. The other one is the Harvard reference system. Taking references using the Harvard system. Great. I mean, you could be doing a lot of, be using quite a number of references for this module. for your dissertation. Well, this will be the largest piece of work you've ever done. So you'll be referencing stuff from all sorts of different sources, from emails, from YouTube, from academic journals. Yeah, you'll be using a lot of those. And it tells you within that guide, keep that handy, because it's quite easy to use. It says you have to get online. You give that on your desk, you can just refer to it. It tells you how to lay it out in an order that's acceptable. Do you have any questions at this point? Any other library questions? Right, so I'm going to explain now where I go from here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you for about half an hour, 40 minutes. We're going to work together on a working dissertation title and look for keywords and look for information relating to that using the library sources. I'm going to look at some of the databases in that guide there, maybe one or two others. I'm going to demonstrate how to filter your search. I'm also going to look at Google, how to use the advanced search in Google. If you haven't used that already, I can show you some pretty useful tricks that you possibly don't know. We're going to look at Google Scholar as well. So that won't take too long, but we're going to start off with a search strategy. I've given you I've given you a handout. This is the search strategy, and you don't have to use this method at all. It's just a method that I've used that I found very useful, just to kind of organise my work. Because with a dissertation, your mind can play a lot of tricks on you. It's a huge piece of work. You're under pressure. You think you can remember everything, but you sort of your mind will play tricks on you. You find yourself forgetting things and the way you're doing it. It's quite a large piece of work. So what I'm recommending is that you kind of organise it and you write stuff down as you go along and write your references down and make notes. And at the very start of your dissertation, you've got to think of a title. Now that's the hard part. Really, you're going to be looking for lots of ideas. Some of you might have found some really useful ideas in your year out in industry, but so you might still be sort of umming and ahhing on where you go with it. But for this exercise, this kind of collaborative exercise, I was wondering if any of you had any ideas for a dissertation title that we could work with early on the stage. Just anything, just random words, you know. That's the way I start off, just random words. Anyone?
Future-proofing major projects.
Is that related?
Infrastructure projects that are going to take 30 years to complete.
Future-proofing. That's quite a challenging one. We'll put it in. Future-proofing.
Major infrastructure projects.
Future-proofing major infrastructure projects. Exactly, that's in the construction industry, isn't it?
Yes.
So, what I'm suggesting here is that think of a title, not too broad, because otherwise, you know, you lose focus, you know, you can write about anything, and it become a bit of a kind of mess where you go off in tangents, and not too narrow, because if it's too narrow, you're going to be struggling for information. You probably leave the now more specialised topic for a PhD, perhaps, something that no one else has done. But this seems future-proofing major infrastructure projects. I'm going to relate it to the construction industry, isn't it? Construction industry. Right, so we've got something up there now. We're all working with this together. Future-proofing major infrastructure projects in the construction industry. I'm not construction manager. I'm a librarian. You're the construction manager. You're the people that's been out in the industry. I can sit at my desk while you're looking at databases and journal articles. You're the guys that's been out in the field, so you know that you've got all the technical know-how. Now, but what I can use is my expertise to look at keywords in there and think of how I'm going to search for literature relating to that. And that looks like it could be a working title. That might not be the working title. It might be. It might not be the title that you end up with. It's probably just a kind of, could be just something to get you going, and you might end up tweaking it and adjusting it. But it's something to get going, and so we can look at what literature there is out there, what people have written, what authors have. Notable authors have written about it. What construction industry professionals, what quantity surveyors have written about it. So we can think of keywords. So what keywords, what search terms would you pick out of that? What are the obvious ones?
Sustainability.
Yeah, we'll come on to that in a minute. That'll be an alternative one.
Right.
But the immediate ones.
Right, okay.
So we've got future-proofing, I suppose. Future-proofing. We could have infrastructure projects. Construction industry. I mean, I've just written those down. I mean, this is the way I'm working. I'm just like scratching your all that, and that's the way that you. You might find it helpful to do that yourself. And then we're coming on to then thinking about alternative terminology. What's alternative terminology? You've got sustainability. Infrastructure projects. Are there any kind of infrastructure projects that you can think about? Any working examples, any case studies?
Yeah, you'd probably go HS2 or something like that.
HS2, yes. Okay.
30 years.
Any others?
Hinkley Point C.
Huh?
Hinkley Point C.
Hinkley Point 2? Just write them all down. You might be able to remember them, but just write them all down. And I don't know whether that's the right spelling. Crossrail?
Crossrail 2, yeah. There's Crossrail 2 and Hinkley Point C.
Hinkley Point C. C.
Letter C.
C and Crossrail 2. So, there's other things to think about when you search, and I've got written on your literature search such and thing. We've got the truncation, which you can use to search databases of journal articles. That's used in an asterisk. Let's say if you're looking for, if we put sustain, put an asterisk there. That would search for sustainability, sustainable, for example. Do you follow what I mean? you can use that, and that will truncate the word. So it's the same as house, if you put H-O-U-S, asterisk, houses, housing. So think of, within this terminology, what words are sort of truncatable that you could possibly use. So sustain. And also with, there's another thing called wildcards. Now we've got a keyword up here where I can really demonstrate that, but I'll put one up and show you how it works. Say, for example, we've got labour. I put question mark in there, actually. It's a question mark I put. It's written on the guide there, but just to show you. If I put in the question mark there where the U would be, that would look for areas of the United States where labour is spelled L-A-B-O-U-R. Or for example, if you're uncertain about how to spell a word, because some of these databases of journal articles we're going to be looking at, they don't autocorrect. In Google, you get away with it, sort of thing. It give you that. But within some of the databases which aren't searchable through Google Scholar, you kind of wouldn't you'd miss a few items. So some tricks, and there's looking at identify terminology, and also combining your keywords. Think of how you're going to combine them. With this, we'll look at that later, and say, for example, we could put sustainability and Hinckley Cross. And Hinckley Cross. Is it Hinckley Cross? No, Hinckley Point, sorry. It's Friday afternoon and I'm absolutely roasting. Hinckley, so you could do that, and then think of ways in which you're going to limit your search. How far back do you want to go? How many years back? I mean, with this, what literature are you looking at? Would you like to look at the past project? Would you like to? This is coming back to your dissertation title. You could do comparative study. You could tweak the words within the title now and think, well, I want to look at the past project, and I want to look at one that's being developed now and seeing how they do future-proofing. Look at the differences in ways in which we future-proof these buildings. We could go back to the turn of the century, 2000, and think, well, how do they future-proof things then, and how are we future-proofing things now? So this is where the brain starts to work, and then you go back to your title, and then you tweak it again. So all very simple. It's a very, very simple process. But if you kind of organise it in some kind of strategy, then you're not going to go far wrong. You're just thinking all the time. And this is one method that you can use. You can use any kind of ways to project manage your dissertation. But also, are you going to use a case study? Are you going to use Hinckley Point? See? Are you going to do a comparison between two? You're going to look at Crossrail and you're going to look at Hinckley Point. So you might that might give you a bit more focus for your dissertation. So you might say, well, case study or comparative study between two future-proofing major projects in the construction industry, between Hinckley Point C and Crossrail 2. Is it Crossrail 2? Yeah. So you could be thinking of that and whatever. So then this is a good way of thinking of limiting the focus of your dissertation title. So it's bringing it all in. So we're getting a literature search strategy together, something that we can refer to, a document we come back to and keep adding to it and taking away. So it's like writing a recipe really for your dissertation, or shopping list of what you need, what items you need. So to be looking for. So right now we've got that. We've got some some bits in there. And the way I'd start it is I'd take that out, copy that, and I would go to Discover. It's as simple as that. I go to Discover. I just cut and paste that in. I'm not sure at all what I'm actually going to find. You know, I'm just going to bang it in. Do what I do with Google. Just put it in. Right. I mean, that looks pretty promising. Property features, the need for foresight. The only thing is, it was written in 1999. You know, that's, you might want to look at that model. But we've got 682 by that first initial thing, and it looks like we might have some bits there. I mean, we can't always. I don't know what we're going to find, so I can't go with a prepared one. I'm as new to this as you are, so I'm going to look at what surprises it throws up. So we got that one, property futures, might be a contender. The thing is to dive into something like that, and even if though it's out of date, look at what it's saying. There might be some information that actually is still relevant, even though it's 1999. But they also might give you some keywords as well. It might get you going on a trail of how you want to shape your dissertation. So, if you haven't used Discover before, you can. It's very easy to use. It's as simple as that. You just you can refine it. You can use these little limiters on the left hand side. You can click on that, see where that takes us. Issues in sustainable development. Let's have a look at that. And we could narrow it down to peer-reviewed journals and so forth, and see where we go with that. And a lot of this stuff is really high quality information.
Geoff, good question. So, if we think that there's going to be a more specific or a more important journal to read than another one, can you filter on journals as well?
Yeah, these aren't journals.
No, as in, if I wanted to go to the Journal of Automation and Construction, and I wanted to read about future-proofing my major infrastructure projects, is there a way to do that?
If I want to read stuff in the Journal of Automation, I'll show you that in a moment. I wouldn't do it through Discover necessarily, because it might not be in Discover. What you can do, there's a lot of stuff. There is some stuff that Discover is good for an overall tour. What I'm doing is an initial tour here. It's very, very. What I've got to say about Discover, it doesn't troll everything in the library. It doesn't troll the Construction Information Service. There's still quite a number of journals that were omitted. I don't have a list. This is quite a large list of journals that were omitted from it. So, but there's also a lot of really good stuff. So I think for individual journal titles, I'm going to skip now and answer that question. If it was individual journal titles, I would go to the e-journal title box up there, and I would type in the journal. You said Journal of Automation. Do we have that in the
Automation and Construction, yeah.
Journal of Automation and Construction? What I would do is I would go to Journal of Automation and in Construction. I'll just Journal of sometimes you can get that one. Journal of Automation in Construction. automation, yeah. It's not called journal. I put journal of automation, so you wouldn't find that. But there we go. I would go, what I would do, and this applies to another way of literature searching, rather than actually searching, would be I would go, is this a specific journal title that relates to your topic, like you found viewers? I would just click on it, access it, I would just go directly to the journal from that point there, and you can either search within the journal, or there's a lot to be said for just browsing. Just go through the volume and have a look through. Look through the titles. There's a lot to be said for that as well. So if you're not quite, you might come up with other ideas that you're not looking for. You see what I mean? If you just go and browse, the journal articles. So I would just go and have a look through. There might be something there that your keywords are missing. That there might be something else that might fit the bill, and then you could shape your dissertation accordingly. Do you see what I mean? So it's all playing around. It's all doing a scoping study. You're trawling. But use really good quality sources for this. You want to be using our journals really, rather than going into Google. Google's fine for many things, and we'll come on to that in a minute. But I would use these. So if you've got a particular journal, just go to the journal rather than going through Discover. So if we go back to Discover, so if you find one that's useful, strategy, that looks like a nice one, strategies and techniques to future-proof the energy performance of housing developments. Now that's getting the brain going. You're thinking, oh, can I fit that into my dissertation, or can I rework my dissertation title to fit something like that in, because that looks like a really good idea. Now you see here on the right-hand side, you've got citations. If you click on that box there, that will take you through to the sources that the author has used to write that paper. So you suddenly got a whole lot of stuff there relating to that subject, and that's all your literature searching done possibly. There's about 20 odd articles there. So job done. We've done in our very hot and steamy afternoon in this room, we've managed to crack more or less your literature review, or the best part of it, in about less than 10-15 minutes. So it's great. That's how easy it is, and that's pretty difficult. So we're there with it.
So if I just read the article but didn't actually use anything from it, would that still go into my literature review?
Well, if it's relevant, it's highly possible that you might, you could still put it in. You could, it's something that you refer to. You could say, well, so-and-so said this.
Yeah.
I mean, but you could put it in the literature review, but you might not use it in your dissertation. You might say that so-and-so. Why not? If it's there, if he's saying something relevant, and you've analysed it, think critically about what they're saying. Don't just bang it in there for the sake of it. Think about what is the author saying? What's the authority of the author? Where are they coming from? Why are you using it? Where and so forth. What is it actually got to offer you? The question. How is it answering your research question? Do you see what I mean? Your hypothesis, which is probably the research question. So how is it looking to do that? So yeah, you could. Yeah, I mean, but be selective. Don't just put anything in just because you think it's going to impress the assessors. No, they're not going to want that. They want something that's relevant. But if you can make a case for use it for what they're saying, if it's helping your argument or contradicting what you're saying, you can use it. So So that's using Discover, you know, and there are many other ways to use Discover. You could use an advanced search to get even more this would be a different way. You could use future proofing, is exact, and you could put construction industry, or building projects, or whatever you want. So think of your keywords, and we can bang those in and see how relevant it is. We can also then do a date thing. Whoops, that's gone the wrong way. Like that, filter it, refine it down to date range. And have a play around with that. That's Discover. It's trawling quite a number of useful sources there. And right, so search Discover. We looked at e-journals, books and e-books. You can use books and e-books. You can use them in a dissertation as well. So we could put you could put your search terms in there. I don't know, future proofing. Well, I don't know whether it'll pick up anything with those keywords. It might be a chapter in a book. In that case, it might not necessarily pick it up. It's not really doing anything. So we have to think about laterally about future proofing. Construct maybe sustainable development, or it might be that there's been no books written about it. In that case, when you've done your dissertation, go take it to a publisher and see if they pay you lots of money to publish it. You know, it's a gap in the market. So you know. But there might be something if we put sustainable development in, you know, there might be chapters in those books. So thinking of your keywords and e-journal titles, we covered that. Find a database. Now we have databases on every subject, you know, so you might be doing a subject that requires some business information, something company reports or so forth. Have a look at those, or you might be doing something on hospitals and therefore going to have a look at healthcare, something on sustainable tourism projects or something like that. In that case, hospitality. There's information. There's other data sources as well. Other help that you can get. But you can have a look at the construction databases, and there's my site if you haven't seen it before, and go into databases, and the first one there is Academic Search Complete. Now, to put in construction industry, we can try future proofing, history, future. I'm going to put an asterisk in there to truncate it. So look for future proofing and future proof. So we'll see if it'll bring up anything there. Well, we've got 3 with those keywords. So that's just that one, and that's kind of narrowed it down. These probably won't appear on Discover if you did it for them with some of these journals. So it's worth looking at some of these work slightly differently. So we can then just add those to a folder, click on add, and then go to the folder at the end, and then you can select all and then email them or print them to yourself rather than taking a photograph of the screen. But also, within those references, you've got to have perhaps keywords that you could pinch from there for searching in the future. So it might be worth making notes of those. Read the abstract before you think of diving in and using it. So that's academic search complete. We're going to race through now and look at another one. Very simple to use. There's a source complete. Now this, you'll notice, is from the same publisher. So it's a different collection of journal articles, but from the same publisher. Now you want to search across both of those. Now, what you can do is you can go up to that bit there, choose databases, and those are all the databases that's all the produced. The databases, when I say databases, it's just collections of journal articles. Containers, if you like, or rooms of journal articles. And you can click on Business Source Complete. You can also do Academic Search Complete, or any others that you might think. If you're doing something on school buildings, you might click on ERIC or something educational. Again, the leisure industry, hospitality, whatever. So, and then we can click on there. OK, we can do our construction industry and future-proof. There we are. And search if we get any more results. Yeah, we've got 9 now, so we've increased the number. So I mean, if there weren't many with future-proof, you could try an alternative keyword that we made a list of earlier. We could try sustainability or sustainable development or something like that, you know. So again, you can use those. And they're all high quality. I mean, these will get you good marks. Using these resources will get huge ticks from the assessors. You know, so everything I've shown you thus far will get you good marks. You know, this is where it comes in. You know, high quality sources. So another one to use, if you have, will be Construction Information Service. See what they got on there, what technical stuff. This isn't so much academic stuff, but it's more technical reports written by government and by professional organisations such as CIBSE and CIOB and REBA. So we just put future proofing. See what it has in there. Future. It doesn't have the future proofing in there, but you might want what future development, perhaps future projects, future strategy. You might want to just browse through there and see if they've got anything related to that. But these are all full text, really good quality resources as well. You might have already used it, but have a play around with it. If you haven't used it, make sure you use it before you leave the university, because it's absolutely priceless. There's tens of thousands of pounds worth of stuff there. You can't get this stuff through Google. You search for it, you might find some stuff in Google, but you'll be asked to get your credit card out and pay 30 quid. Never do that. Always come to me first, or if you can't get anything, you do it two ways. But this is a really major resource, as are the other ones. You know, those resources that you've been accessing through the library, and they're only accessible through the library because you have to sign in with your student ID and password. They really are high quality, and if you tried accessing them through Google, you'd be asked to pay money for them. Don't really There's no need for you to do that. No. So, so that's Construction Information Service. We're running through now. We go to Emerald. You might have used Emerald. Another really good one for the construction industry. Very simple to search. Again, we would probably find some relevant results for this particular dissertation that we're working through. I'm racing on here. Factiva is another one. Factiva also contains the Financial Times as well. So we could connect to that. I'll show you how this works. This works in a slightly different way. Let's wait for a while for it to fire up. Let's play that. A little bit slow. Do you have any questions at this point when we're waiting?
If the full text of something isn't available, how do we get hold of it, and how fast is the turnaround?
Right. Okay. Full text isn't available.
If the full text isn't available, so if the database takes you to a link that says the full text access, you click on it, and then it asks you for £30
Yeah.
Right. Okay. If it isn't available, if only you find anything that, oh gosh, it's asking us for our credit card, 30 quid for this article because the library hasn't got it. Okay? Well, don't do that. You click on to Interlibrary Loan Service. You won't have used this yet. Interlibrary Loan Service. And this applies to books as well. But if it's a book, you can email me directly for a book. I've got some money. If it's affordable, I get it for the library to my actual collection. So that's the Interlibrary Loan Service there. It costs. How much does it cost? Well, if you're out in the Google land, it would cost you something like about £35 for a journal article. Research papers are very, very expensive. Here, you're a student, it would cost you £3. This is subsidised by the university, so it's only £3. And you probably won't need to do this many times for an undergraduate discipline. You probably need about 2. You might not even need to use it, but there might be that one paper that you must have. This is the crucial one. It's going to be the one you're going to use for most of your dissertation. Do that, and you could get the same day or the next day. It comes through electronically as a journal article. So that you should be able to get everything. Don't go paying 30 quid. As your dissertation students, you're able also to use the Bodleian Library, which is down the road there. And to join that, it's free, and the application forms are available at the Help Zone. Bodleian Library. Do you know what the Bodleian Library is?
Yeah, I know where you say the application forms are available.
Huh?
You said the application forms are available from somewhere.
From the Help Zone Library.
Help Zone.
Help Zone. Help Zone. Help Zone. Help Zone. So, yeah, they're available and it's free to join. So you can go along there and take that one of those if you're going to be making use of it. You can download. You can access their electronic library, but only you have to be in the library itself using their computers, if you follow what I mean. And yeah, they have a lot of really good stuff relating to construction. The construction industry, there, the proceedings of civil engineering for all the topics, and ACSC, American Civil. I can't remember a sea of acronyms in my head, but it's civil ACES, something like that. it's American equivalent to the civil engineering within this country. But might have some stuff. Good for master's level students, but you might find that useful. But as part of your student experience, you feel free to use it. So, I mean, for example, if you've got something like 7 or 8 journal articles, if you want, you may as well go take a trip, take yourself off down to Bodleian Library. You save yourself something like 21 quid, and you can use that in the King's Arms at the end of the road, or in the PS when you're reading your journal articles. So that's the way I would play it, especially this afternoon. Right. So that's Factiva now. It's loaded. So this is a slightly different one. Have a play around with it. I'm just going to show you different features. You can search under sources, under newspapers, different types of newspapers. You can click on Financial Times. Comes up in yellow in the box there. Just search the Financial Times. Or if you want, you take that off, and we can go for under companies, under industries. We can just scroll down there. Real estate construction industry, and we have that in the box there. So we can also add all sources as well, with newspapers or whatever. So you could search with any of those. So you could put construction industry, and the thing here is that you have to write "and" in. It's different to the others. And future-proof. Let's see what it throws up there. I mean, at the moment it's just searching newspapers. It hasn't got any there, so we can go back and modify it. We've only got the last 3 months up there, so what I would do is I'd always change that to last 5 years, or you could put all dates in. I'll probably take that off. Just put all sources and see what it comes up with there, if it brings anything up at all. There we are, and we've got quite a lot of results there, and it's telling you where they come from, different building, and it's the newest. I think it's the most recent one. Yeah, it's the most recent one first. And these are all full text, and to get the full text you just and then you can email it to yourself or print it out. So that's Factiva. Have a play around with that. You'll get the feel of it when you start using it, and right. So any other questions? So if we go back to our library, go back into construction, make sure I've shown you all the databases. Construction and databases, and we've got others there that might be of use. There's Lexis Library that contains legal information, but also some newspapers. Science Direct's a really good one as well, and great for the construction industry. We've already looked at that. There's automation in construction, which is within that kind of stable, really, of journals. Journal articles. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to going to Google, and I'm going to type our put in our future-proofing major infrastructure projects in the industry. Have a look, that's Google, right? There's all sorts of people writing all sorts of weird stuff there. When you're using Google, when you're going into one of these great big search engines, a non-library one, non-specific academic one, think about what the person's saying, what authority do they have? They are the authors of authority. What authority do they have to say what they say? Where are they coming from? What are they trying to say? When was it written? Was it written recently? Was it written in 1999? Why was it written? Was it part of an advertising campaign or part of a commercial organisation? Was it a political group? Was it Donald Trump doing one of his tweets? I mean, think to get the populist vote in America. How was it written? Was it written with a bias? Where was it written? Was it in the UK? Was it written on planet Mars? Was the person completely off his face when he wrote it, or was he a scientist? And who wrote it? What authority do they have? Was it Professor Brainstorm in Australia? Was it was an expert in the field, or was it your mate down the pub again doing his Facebook posts? I mean, so think of it. You've got fake news out there. I mean, it's a big buzzword at the moment. When you go into Google, there's a lot of weird people out there, writing a lot of crazy stuff. But there's also some really good stuff there. I can filter that. I can show you how to filter that to get some really surefire stuff. A lot of stuff there. A lot of hits coming up with that in Google. So when you go into settings, turn on settings, go into advanced search. And what I would do is you could put in one of the domain things. We can filter it in domain. .gov.uk. Okay, so these are going to be government publications. So someone's got the trouble of putting this up there, and they've got even more trouble to put it into PDF. So it's going to be costing the taxpayer money. So it's going to be pretty good stuff, So it's just going through all local government papers, through central government papers, and it's trawling all those, and you can see those are PDF. So we got rid of all the extraneous stuff, all the crazy stuff. So we've filtered Google down into government, just looking at the government sources. We got rid of all the drunk people out there. So another domain name that's useful would be .ac.uk. Why would .ac.uk be good domain name? Give me a reason. Exactly. The research papers. It's going to be trawling all the research, all the repositories. So you can if you put that in .ac.uk, and again apply the advanced search, and there we have some pretty good research papers that would be pretty good stuff to use in your dissertation. And that's the way of using Google. Also for American academic literature, you could put .edu, or for American governments, you could put .gov. So this is getting down to kind of really filtering Google to get some pretty good sources, in addition to your library sources as well. So that's Google. And to finish with Google Scholar. Anyone use Google Scholar? Any show of hands? Anyone? Yeah. Right. Now I'm going to show you how to set. I'm going to finish off now by showing you how to set Google Scholar to search our library, to search our university library resources. So to do that, we're going to Google Scholar. And you see that they call it a hamburger thing, or we have all sorts of the 3 lines up there. Click on there, and going to My Library. Is it My Library? Oh. Profile. They've moved it. No, I didn't want that. Apologies, I think not to My Library. Let's put for some reason, there's usually an extra button there. They've taken it off. I mean, as I'm going to show you. But sorry, they have moved it. So it used to be down there. What we have to do now is go into that cogwheel. Click on that. We've hidden that out of the way. So if we go up there, and we go into library links. Click on library links. Type in, notice no Oxford Brookes up here. Let's search in Open World Gap. If we put in Oxford Brookes University, click on search, and you see it's coming up there with two empty boxes. Tick those. You can do this on your laptop at home or your tablet or whatever. And then we can type in our search thing, future-proofing major infrastructure projects in the construction industry. There we are, bingo. And what's happening here, you've got these links appearing on the right-hand side of the screen. Now those links, before I did this, they wouldn't have appeared. You wouldn't have seen those. And now they've appeared because it's recognising you as an Oxford Brookes University student. And then when you click on one of those, it's going to ask you to log in using your Brookes University login. Then you'll be able to get the full text PDFs. But also Google Scholar is quite good because it comes out of the library as well. It'll show you some of those papers that are available, but possibly we haven't got them in the library. That's when you perhaps need to go elsewhere, look at using the interlibrary loan service, which I showed you earlier, or going down to the Bodleian Library and obtaining it there. So those 2 options are open to you if we haven't got it. But for the most part, we have got them. So this is trawling through our electronic library. So any questions? There's another thing which you can do as well. If I recap, going back into that hamburger cog, there's a button as well. Now you can install the button into your browser, and then the search box will always be there, save you having to go into Google Scholar all the time. So is that quite clear? And yeah, just one more thing to finish with. Referencing. Plagiarism. Do not plagiarise, lose marks for that, you'd be disqualified. Make sure you're not cutting and pasting from other documents. Don't do that, it's not worth it. Just turn it in, or pick it up, or your tutors might pick it up. There's plenty of advice on that link. Have a read through there on how to avoid it. You can use what other people have said, but you have to reference it. You have to give them credit as being the author of the piece of work. And you've got your reference, Harvard reference guide there. That's a quick reference. It should be able to answer most of the questions you have. There's also something else, EndNote. This is reference management software. It's free to you as book students. Have a look at it. It's quite easy to get started with it. We'll have workshops up and running in the library in semester 1, next semester when you're writing it up. So it's a great place to put your references, and you can to format your bibliography as you're writing. It's really, really quick. It's really fantastic. There's a podcast demonstrating how it works there as well. Explore that. It might save you some time. Some valuable time. Because if you're at home watching the World Cup and you've got your laptop on your lap, have a look through. Get yourself registered and just fiddle around with it. You know, it's very easy to use. It's a bit like Spotify for academic papers, if you like. You know, so it's that easy, and you can make little playlists, if you like, or libraries. So, do you have any questions? Any questions before I depart?
So, Geoff, we will be available during the summer and at the beginning of the semester. If any of the
I'll be off. I won't be around in August, but there'll be a colleague of mine that'll be able to answer any questions. But I can see you. If you find yourself getting lost, please come and see me, either small group or individually. From September, from first week of September, I'm there. You know, I'm yours. So come and see me. Book an appointment. Possibly it's great if you're all collaborating. You know, come as a small group. But I'm also happy to see you individually. And if there's enough requests, I could run a similar workshop again, possibly a bit shorter, to do what we did with the literature search faculty sheet. So I mean, best of luck and.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Good that I hope you enjoyed the session. I hope you found it helpful. Definitely, literature review is a major part of your work. Some of us came over here to have a discussion with you about your topic.